geometry, and then we will be towards number theory, algebra, and then we'll be covering these topics again in depth. Okay, and at the last we'll be studying combinatorics. Is it fine? Okay, so let's move on. So I presume that all of you know what is a line, what is a line segment, and what is a ray, right? Okay, so let's start with an angle. So if you have a ray and if you rotate it, okay, so then you get a final position, and this measure of rotation is called an angle. Okay, so this common point is called the vertex of the angle, and these rays are called the arms of the angle. Okay. Okay, so just a quick review of what are the types of angles. So an acute angle is one which is between 0 and 90 degrees, and an angle of 90 degrees is called right angle, and an obtuse angle is one which is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees, and an angle of 180 degrees is a straight angle, and a reflex angle is one which is more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. Okay. So these are the types of lines. So in a plane, either the two lines will be intersecting or they will be non-intersecting. Okay. So if they are intersecting, they are called intersecting lines. And if they are non-intersecting, then these lines will be parallel. Okay. And what do you mean by concurrent lines? So if three or more lines passes through a same point, then they are called concurrent lines. Okay. As you can see here, there are so which are passing through the same point O. So these lines are called concurrent lines. Okay. So let us try to understand what are complementary and supplementary angles. So if a pair of angles whose sum is 90 degrees, they are said to be complementary. And if the sum of two angles is 180 degrees, then they are supplementary. Say the complement of 30 degrees would be 60 degrees. And let us say the supplement of 110 degrees would be 70 degrees. Okay. Now let's understand what is an axiom and what is a theorem. So axiom is a thing which we assume to be true. Okay. It is clearly, for example, if say A is equals to B and B is equals to C, then A is equals to C. This is an axiom. Okay. Say if A and B are equal, then twice of A and twice of B are equal. This is an axiom. Okay. Let us say if there are 2 points A and C on a straight line, okay, and there is a point B which is in between A and C, then AB plus BC is equals to A. This is an axiom. Okay. And theorem is something which we use, which we start with an axiom and we give a set of logical arguments and then we arrive at the desired result, that is called a theorem. Okay. So to prove the theorem, we must use logical arguments. Okay. So let us try to understand what is this linear pair of angles axiom. Okay. So if there is a straight line, let us say I have this straight line, and if there is a ray, okay, so the angles, the adjacent angles which this ray makes with this straight line are supplementary. So here the angle plus angle 2 would be equals to 180 degrees. So this axiom is called linear pair of angles axiom. It means we have assumed that this is always true. Okay. And the converse of this is also true. It means, let us say you have this AB. Okay. Now you don't know that whether AB is a straight line or not. Let us say you have this ray, and let us say there are two angles. Let us say this is X and this is angle Y. Now, if angle X plus angle Y is 180 degrees, then you can say that AB is a straight line. Okay. So the converse of this axiom is also true. Okay. Now let us see what are vertically opposite angles. Okay. So if there are two straight lines and if they intersect at a point O, so this angles, okay, these are called vertically opposite angles, say X and Y. Okay. And X is equals to Y. This means that the vertically opposite angles are equal. Similarly, this pair of angles, angle A and angle B, these are called vertically opposite angles, and angle A and angle B are equal. Okay, how can we prove that these vertically opposite angles are equal? Anyone? Yeah, anyone? How can we prove that these vertically opposite angles are equal? Okay, so if I start with x, I know that a plus x is 180 degrees, right? And similarly, a plus y is 180 degrees because this is a straight line. So a plus y is 180 degrees. And since this is a straight line, then x is 180 degrees. So from these two equations, I can conclude that x is equals to y. So vertically opposite angles are always equal. Okay. Just let me know if you can hear me or not. I am not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, so are the things clear which you have discussed till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So if I ask something, please respond. Okay. Now let us study what is a transversal. Okay. Let us say there are two lines. Okay, and there is a third line which intersect these two distinct lines at two distinct points. Okay, then this line is called transversal. Okay, is it fine? Okay, so now if a transversal cuts two lines, then there are angles formed, as you can see here in this figure. Okay, so now angle 1 and angle 5, okay, these are said to be corresponding angles. And similarly, angle 2 and angle 6, these are corresponding angles. Similarly, angle 3 and angle 7, these are a pair of corresponding angles. And angle 4 and angle 8, these are a pair of corresponding angles. Okay, so these are corresponding angles. Okay, similarly, angle 3 and angle 5 and angle 4 and angle 6, these are called alternate interior angles. Okay, similarly, angle 2 and angle 8, angle 1 and angle 7, these pairs of angles are called alternate exterior angles. Okay, and angle 4 and angle 5 are called angles on the same side of the transversal, or they are called co-interior angles. Okay, angle 4 and angle 5. Similarly, angle 3 and angle 6 are called co-interior angles. Okay, now let us understand what is a corresponding angles axiom. Okay, we have assumed that this thing is true. Okay, so let us say we are given two parallel lines. Okay, these two lines are parallel, and this is a transversal which is cutting these two parallel lines. Okay, so now we assume that these corresponding angles are equal. Okay, this is our assumption. I mean, it's clearly evident that this angle between these two lines is same as the angle between these two lines, because these two lines are parallel. Okay, so here angle 1 and angle 2 be equal. Similarly, this angle 3 and angle 4, this would be equal because these are corresponding angles. Okay, similarly, angle 5 and angle 6 would be equal because these are corresponding angles. And angle 7 and angle 8 would also be equal because these are corresponding angles. So if we have a pair of parallel lines, then corresponding angles are equal. Okay, and the converse of this statement is also true. What do you mean by converse? That if there are, say, two lines and this is a transversal and this angle is equal. Okay, so if x is equals to y, then I can say, let us name this line as 1 and this line as 2, then line 1 is parallel to line 2. Okay, so if the corresponding angles are equal, then the lines are parallel, and if they are parallel, then the corresponding angles are equal. Okay, so now we will study what is an alternate interior angles theorem. Okay, so what are alternate interior angles? So this pair of angles are called alternate interior angles, right? this pair of angles. Okay, so let us say this is angle, say this is angle X and this is angle Y. So these are alternate interior angles, and if these two lines are parallel, then these alternate interior angles are equal. Okay, this thing we need to prove. Okay, let us start. So let us consider this angle as angle 1. Okay, I know that angle 1 is equals to angle X because they are vertically opposite angles.
Mm.
I also know that angle 1 is equals to angle Y because they are corresponding angles, right? So then I can say that angle X is equals to angle Y. So alternate interior is equal if these two lines are parallel. Okay. Similarly, this angle is equal to this. Okay. So Z is equals to W. Okay. And what about the relation between angle Y and angle Z? Okay. This angle Y and angle Z are said to be co-interior angles, right?
Mm.
So the relation is that angle Y and angle Z are supplementary because we know that X plus Z is equals to 180 degrees because it is a straight line.
Mm.
And since X is equals to Y, we can say that Y plus Z is equals to 180 degrees, right? Because X is equals to Y. So angles on the same side of transversal, that is co-interior angles, are supplementary. Similarly, angles X and W are supplementary. Okay. X plus W is equals to 180 degrees. Okay. And the converse is also true. That is, there are two lines. Okay. And there is a transversal. And if these two angles are equal, then these lines are parallel. And similarly, if the sum of these two angles is 180 degrees, then these two lines are parallel. Okay, let me just make it clear. Say we have two lines, okay, and say angle A is equals to angle B is given, then say that the lines are parallel, okay.
Mm.
Or if say you are given angle B plus angle C is 180, then also you can say that lines are parallel. Okay, so the converse is also true. Is it clear?
Mm.
Okay. So I think the things till which we have discussed till now are very basic. You might have studied those in earlier classes. So
Mm.
we have just done a quick recapitulation. So now let us. Okay. So just all of you note down this question in your notebook. AP. Okay. So this angle is as 25 degrees and this angle is 105 degrees. Okay. I need to find the value of X and it is given to me that AB is parallel to CD. Okay. This is given to me. I need to find out the value of X. Okay. So just try this problem for a couple of minutes and if you get the answer, then let me know in the chat.
खा कुछ है में खा कुछ है में भाई जी
Okay. And you got the answer?
हाँ हाँ पढ़ लिया था उनको मम्मा बस
Okay. If you get the answer, then let me know it in the chat. Has anyone got the answer? So this is the question. AB is given parallel to CD and we need to find out the value of X. Okay, so let us discuss this problem. Some of you have already solved it. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm drawing a line which is parallel to AB and CD passing through E. Okay, so I have drawn a line, okay, parallel to AB, and also it is parallel to CD. Okay, now notice that DE is parallel to EF and CE is a transversal, right? So this angle X plus this angle CEF would be 180 degrees, right? So X degrees plus angle CEF would be 180 degrees. AB is parallel to EF and is transversal, right? So I can say that 105 degrees plus angle AEF would be 180 degrees. Okay, so this will give you 105 plus 25 plus angle CEF. This is 180 degrees. So if you solve this equation and this equation, you can find the value of angle CEF. That angle the value of angle CEF would be 50 degrees. And so the value of X would be 130 degrees. Is it clear? Is this problem clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us just quickly go through again. So what I did is I drew a line EF which is parallel to AB and parallel to CD. Since DE is parallel to DC is parallel to X plus angle CEF would be 180 degrees. Okay, so this is DC. Okay, so we got angle C plus angle CEF, that is 180 degrees. Similarly, since AB is parallel to EF, then angle 105 plus this angle, that is angle AEF, would be 180 degrees. So angle AEF is 25 plus angle CEF, that is 180 degrees. And if you solve these two equations, you will get angle CEF is 50 and angle X as 130 degrees. Okay, so let's move on to the next problem. Okay, so three pair of lines given here. Okay, these lines are parallel. So this is a transversal and this is a transversal. Okay, so this is angle A, this is angle B, this is angle C. This angle is given as 110 degrees. Angle is X, this angle is Y, okay, this angle is Z, and this angle is given as 65 degrees. Okay, so you need to find out the values of X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Okay, these three lines are parallel. Okay, so just try this, and if you get the answer, let me know in the chat. So let me know in the chat if you got the answer. Okay. Has anyone got the answer? Yeah. Has anyone got the answer? Okay, I'll give 1 more minute to try.
Sir, I've sent the answers.
Okay, okay. Some of the students have already done. Okay, so let us just discuss. Okay. So this line is parallel to this line, and this is a transversal. Okay. So notice that angle 65 and angle B are corresponding angles. So they must be equal, right? So B is equals to 65 degrees. Okay. Now, once B is equals to 65 degrees, we know that angle A plus angle B is 180 degrees. So I can get angle A, right? So it is 115 degrees. And B and C are vertically opposite angles. So angle C is also equal to angle B, which is 60 degrees. Is it clear? Okay, okay. So now let us discuss about X, Y, and Z. Okay. So how do you relate these three lines, 110 degrees and X and Z? Okay. So this angle plus this angle would be 180 degrees, right? Okay. So this angle would be 70 degrees and this angle is equal to this angle because these are vertically opposite angles. So angle X is equals to 70 degrees. I hope you got it. Okay. Let me just do it again. These two lines are parallel. This is a transversal. So this angle plus this angle would be 180 because these are co-interior angles. So this angle would be 70 degrees and this angle X would be equal to angle 70 degrees because these are vertically opposite angles. So angle X is equals to 70 degrees and since angle X and angle Y are supplementary, angle Y is 110 degrees and angle X and angle Z are corresponding angles because these two lines are parallel and this is a transversal. So these are corresponding angles. So you would get the value of Z as equal to 70 degrees. Okay, I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so these two lines are parallel. Okay, so let's name it EF and GH. Okay, so EF is parallel to GH and similarly AB is parallel to CD. Okay, so this is given to me as 3x plus 5 degrees and this is given to me as 4x degrees. Okay, so you need to find the value of x. Okay, just try this and tell me the answer in the chat. So almost all of you have got the answer. Let us discuss. So this angle is equals to 4x because of vertically opposite angles. Okay,
Hmm.
fine. So this angle is 180 degrees minus of 3x plus 5, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. So now sum of 4x and 3x plus 5 is 180 degrees.
Hmm.
Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 4x plus 3x plus 5, this would be 180 degrees. Okay, is it fine? So you can also think in this way. This is 3x plus 5, so this angle would be 3x plus 5 because of corresponding angles. And 3x plus 5 and 4x are co-interior angles, that is on the same side of transversal. So these are supplementary. So if you solve this equation, you will get the value of x as 25 degrees. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so this is a line PQ and this is a line RS. So these lines are parallel. Okay.
Hmm.
So this is a point X, this is a point Y. Okay. This angle is given to me as 135 degrees. This is point M. Okay. This angle is given to me as 40 degrees. So PQ is given parallel to RS. You need to find angle XMY. Okay. So you need to find angle XMY. Okay. So just try this and let me know in the chat if you got the answer.
Chocolate. अम्मा करो तो
So some of you have already done this. Let us discuss. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing a line which is parallel to PQ and RS. Okay, passing through the point M. Fine. So this angle and angle MYR are alternate interior angles, so they are equal. So this angle is equals to 45 degrees, and this angle and this angle are co-interior angles, so they are supplementary. So then this angle would be 45 degrees. So then angle XMY would be 40 plus 45, that is 85 degrees. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so I have three lines here. These are all parallel. Okay, then this is a line which is perpendicular. So let us name this is AB, say CD, okay, and say EF. These are parallel lines, and this PA is perpendicular to line AB. Okay, so this angle is given to me as 55 degrees, and this is X, this is Y, and this is Z. So you need to find the values of X, Y, and Z. It is given that AB is parallel to CD is parallel to EF, and it is given that PA is perpendicular to AB. Okay, you need to find out the values of X, Y, and Z. Okay, some of you have sent the answer. So let us discuss. Okay, so angle Z and angle 55 are complementary. So Z is nothing but 90 degrees minus 55 degrees, which is 35 degrees.
Hmm.
And Z and Y are alternate interior angles. So Y must also be equal to, just a second, Z and Y are not alternate interior angles. Okay, this angle and this Y are alternate interior angles. So Z and Y are not alternate interior angles. Notice that angle 55 and angle Y are co-interior angles because they are on the same side of transversal. So they must be supplementary. Okay. So now you can find the value of Y as 125 degrees. And X and Y are corresponding angles. So X is also equal to 125 degrees. Okay, is this clear? Okay. So now let's move on to derive that the sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay. Okay, so I need to prove that sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay. So I'm considering a triangle ABC. So let us say this is my triangle ABC. And I need to prove that angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equals to 180 degrees. Okay, this is my task. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing a line passing through A which is parallel to BC. Okay, these lines are parallel and this is passing through A. Okay.
Yes.
So now notice that this is angle C and this is also equal to angle C. Sorry, just a second. These two lines are parallel, right? BC is parallel to say EF. And
Then should be equal to this
angles must
parallel.
be equal, right? These two angles must be equal because these are alternate interior angles. And similarly, these two angles must be equal because these are alternate interior angles. Okay. So this angle is equals to this angle, alternate interior. Similarly, this angle is equals to this angle, alternate interior angle. And this angle is anyways equal to angle A. So now you can notice that EF is a straight line. Okay. EAF is a straight line. So the sum of angles on a straight line should be 180 degrees. So angle B plus angle A plus angle C, 180 degrees. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, so let's just move on. So you are given a triangle, okay, ABC, and I have extended BC to say D. So you need to prove that this exterior angle C is equals to angle A plus angle B. Okay, so you need to prove that X is equals to angle A plus angle B. So just try this for a couple of minutes. Okay, I think you might have been able to do it easily
Yes, sir.
because
Yes,
we know
sir.
that angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180 degrees and also X plus angle C is 180 degrees because this is a straight line, right? So by these two equations, you can say that angle A plus angle B is equals to X. Okay. So in a triangle, an exterior angle is equals to sum of its opposite two interior angles. Okay, this is property in a triangle. So let's just move on. So you are given a triangle. Okay. And this is 40 degrees. Okay. So the bisectors of angle B and angle C, they meet at point O. Okay. You need to find angle BOC. Okay. So BO comma CO are bisectors of angle B and angle C. So you need to find angle BOC. This is the question. Just try and tell me the answer. Okay. Some of you have already solved it. Let us just discuss it. So since BO and CO are bisectors, if angle OBC is X, then angle OBA is also X. Similarly, these two angles are each equal to Y, and angle B plus angle C, which is twice of X plus Y, this is nothing but angle 180 degrees minus 40 degrees, which is 140 degrees. Okay. And also angle BOC plus X plus Y is 180 degrees from triangle BOC. Okay. So this implies that angle BOC is 180 degrees minus X plus Y, which is 180 degrees minus 70, which is 110 degrees. So notice that X plus Y is equals to 70 degrees. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. So let us just move on. Okay. So, okay. So this is a 5-pointed star. So let us name the vertices as A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So you need to find angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D plus angle E. Okay, you need to find this. Just try this problem.
Wow, that's great. Situation intelligence.
Okay, if anyone gets the answer, then let me know in the chat.
On the bottle. Hmm? Yeah.
Okay, some of you have already got the answers. Okay, so let us discuss this problem. Okay. So what about X? What can I say about angle X and angle C and angle E? Is there a relation between X, angle E and angle C? So X is an exterior angle. Okay. If I consider this triangle, say this point is O, then in triangle EOC, X is an exterior angle. So X is nothing but equal to angle E plus angle C. Okay. Similarly, if you see this angle Y, angle A and angle D. So I can say that in triangle ADP, angle Y is an exterior angle. So angle Y is equal to angle A plus angle D. Okay. Also, if you notice the triangle OPB, then I can say that X plus Y plus B should be 180 degrees because it is a triangle, and X is nothing but angle E plus angle C, and Y is nothing but angle A plus angle D. Okay. So if I add all these angles, I should get 180 degrees. Is this clear to everyone? Okay, so let's move on. So now, okay, we have learned that the sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So let us just try to find the sum of angles in a pentagon. Okay. So you need to find sum of all the angles of a pentagon. Okay, I know that some of you already know the direct formula for this, but I want you to prove it. Okay, so let us discuss. Okay, one of the methods is you can join AC and AD. Okay, and angle B plus angle E plus, if you add all these angles, say angle BA, angle B, angle C, angle D, and small angle E. Okay. Okay, so these are also, let us just include angle F and angle G. Okay. So if I add all these angles, these are some of the angles in three triangles. So this is nothing but 180 degrees times 3, which is equal to 540 degrees. Okay. Is this clear? And you can notice that sum of all these angles is nothing but angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D plus angle E, which is equals to 540 degrees. Okay. So let us discuss one more method to prove this. So I have a pentagon. Okay. A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So I'm taking any point O inside this pentagon, and I'm joining the point O with all the vertices of the pentagon. Okay. So you can notice that now I have 5 triangles. Okay. OAE, OED, OCD, OBC, and OAB. So I have 5 triangles, and the sum of all these angles, say angle A, angle B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, and O. So sum of all these angles from A to O. Okay, this should be 5 times 180 degrees because there are 5 triangles. Okay, but we know that what is the sum of all the angles at O? What is sum of all these angles?
360.
360 degrees, right? So K plus L plus M plus N plus O is equals to 360 degrees. So from this equation, if I subtract this equation, okay, let us take this equation as 1 and 2. So if I just subtract, I'll get angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D plus angle E is 5 into 180 degrees minus 2 into 180 degrees, which is 3 into 180 degrees. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so let us generalize our result for any n-sided polygon. Okay, so let us take an n-sided polygon. Okay, so this is some n-sided polygon. So let us take any interior point O. Okay, and let us join all these vertices. Okay, so you can see that I'll get n triangles. So what will be sum of all these angles? Okay, sum of all these angles would be n times 180 degrees, and sum of all the angles at O, okay, that would be 2 times 180 degrees. Okay, so if I just subtract, then I'll get sum of all the angles of polygon. Okay, this I'll get n minus 2 times 180 degrees. Is this clear? So sum of all the interior angles of an n-sided polygon is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, let's take a problem. So I'm given a triangle PQR. Okay, PS is bisector of angle QPR in this triangle. Okay, and PT is perpendicular to QR. Okay, so you need to show that angle TPS is equals half of angle Q minus angle R. Okay, so when angle Q is greater than angle R, so you need to show this. Okay, so just try the problem for a couple of minutes, then we'll discuss. Okay, so let us discuss. Okay, so PS is the bisector of angle P. So let us draw PS. Fine. And it is given as PT is perpendicular to QR. So PT is perpendicular to QR. Okay. So if angle Q is greater than angle R, then this PT will be lying on the left side of PS. Fine. Now, since PS is the bisector, let us assume that angle RPS is equals to A. Okay. Let us assume angle TPS is equals to X. Okay. So then this angle would be A minus X, right? Angle QPT would be A minus X. Now what about angle Q? Okay, from triangle QPT, I can say that angle Q is 90 degrees minus of minus X. Okay, and if I see triangle PTR, okay, then I can say angle R as 90 degrees minus of A plus X. Okay. So now angle Q minus angle R is 90 degrees minus A minus X minus 90 degrees plus A plus X. This would be 2X. So half of angle Q minus angle R is X, which is nothing but equal to angle TPS. So is this clear? Okay, so let's just move on. Okay, so now we'll discuss the congruencies of triangles and construction of triangles. Okay, so let us say in triangle ABC, okay, I have just given you one side, say BC is equals to 4 centimeter. Okay, I have given you BC is equals to 4 centimeter. Using this information, how many different triangles can you draw? This is the question. Using the information BC is equals to 4 centimeters, how many triangles you can draw? That is, how many triangles are there which satisfies the condition that BC is equals to 4 centimeters. Okay. So I can see that I can draw so many triangles, right? BC is equals to 4, then I can draw a triangle like this. BC is equals to 4, I can draw a triangle like this. BC is equals to 4, I can draw a triangle like this. So I can draw infinitely many triangles which satisfies the condition BC is equals to 4 centimeters. Okay, so the triangle is not unique. Now, let us say I have given you two sides. Okay, two sides are given. Say I have given you AB is equals to 3 centimeters and BC is equals to 4 centimeters. So now, how many triangles can you draw using these two specifications? That AB is 3 and BC is 4. How many triangles satisfies these two conditions? Okay, you can see that still you can draw so many triangles. Okay, I just draw a 4 centimeter length BC, and then I just draw a random 3 centimeters and I name it as point A, and I just join AC. Similarly, I can draw 3 centimeters at random and I can join AC. So you can see that I'll get infinitely many such triangles which satisfies these two specifications, that AB is 3 centimeters and BC is 4 centimeters. So now you understand that given one side or given two sides, the triangle is not unique. Okay, there are infinitely many triangles which satisfies the given condition. Okay, now what I am doing is I am giving you the length of all the three sides. Okay, So say AB is given to me as 3 centimeters, BC is given to me as say 4 centimeters, and AC is given to me as say 6 centimeters. Now, how many triangles can you draw using these three specifications? I mean, how many triangles are there which satisfies these three conditions? Okay. So if I try to construct the triangle, I'm drawing AB as 3 centimeters. Okay. Then I'm using my compass and I'm placing the needle of the compass at point A. Okay. And then I'm cutting an arc of radius 6 centimeters. Okay. With center as A. So with A as center, I have cut an arc of radius 6 centimeters. Fine. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking a compass and placing the needle of the compass at point B, and B as center, I'm cutting an arc of radius 3 centimeters. Okay. So the point of intersection of these two arcs, I'm naming it as point C. Okay. And I'm joining this CA and CB. Okay. So AC is 6 centimeters and BC is 4 centimeters. Fine. So now that we can see that the triangle is unique, right? We have tried to construct a triangle in which all the three sides are given, and we have found that the triangle is unique. Okay, that is, there is only one triangle which satisfies all these three conditions. Okay, that means the angles are also fixed. Okay, so given three sides of triangle, the angles are fixed, and the formula to find out the angles, we'll learn it later. Okay, so for now, we need to notice the fact that if we are given three sides of a triangle, then the triangle is fixed. Okay. Okay, just let me know if you have any queries. If you have any queries till now, let me know in the chat. Okay. Okay, so no queries. Let's move on further. Okay. Now let us say I am given two sides, that is AB is 3 centimeters and say BC is 4 centimeters, and I am given angle B as say 30 degrees. Okay. So now I am given the side AB, side BC, and angle B. So now I will try to find out how many triangles are there which satisfy this condition. Okay, so I just go with construction. So I draw AB is equals to 3 centimeters. Okay. Now I place a protractor at B, and I draw a line which is at 30 degrees. Okay. Now, since I want BC as 4 centimeters, with B as center, I cut an arc of radius 4 centimeter. Okay. And I join CA. Fine. So I can see by construction that the triangle is again unique. Okay. So you can see by construction that the triangle is unique. That is, if two sides of a triangle are given, okay, and included angle is given. Okay, included angle means the angle which is given is between those two sides, then triangle is unique. Okay. So now let us take one more condition. Say I'm given AB is 5 centimeters, BC as 8 centimeters. Okay. And I'm given angle C as 30 degrees. Okay. Now how many triangles can I draw which satisfies these conditions? Okay, I just go by construction. So I draw BC as 8 centimeters first. Okay. Now since angle C is 30 degrees, I just draw a line which is inclined at 30 degrees to BC. Okay. Now since AB is 5 centimeters, with B as center, I cut an arc of radius 5 centimeters. Okay. So now 5 centimeters, if I cut an arc, this will cut this line at 2 points. Okay. Say A and A dash. Okay. So you will get two possible triangles. Okay. That is ABC you have got, which satisfies the given condition. Okay. And you have also got another triangle, which is A dash BC, which also satisfies the given condition. Okay. So it means the triangle is not unique here. Okay. Triangle is not unique. Okay. What's the reason? So the reason is the angle which is given is not included between the sides. Okay. The angle which is given, that is angle C, it is not included between the sides AB and BC. So if you just see the previous case, here also we were given two sides AB, BC and angle B, but here the angle was included between the two sides, so the triangle was unique. But if the angle is not included between the two sides, then the triangle is not unique. Okay, so just let's move on. Now say I have been given two angles, say angle A and angle B, and I'm given side length AB as 3 centimeters. Okay. Say I have been given A as 30 degrees and B as 45 degrees and AB as 3 centimeters. Now how many triangles can I draw? Okay, I'll just proceed by construction. So I draw AB as 3 centimeters and I draw a line which is inclined at 30 degrees from A to AB. Okay. At B, I draw a line which is inclined at 45 degrees to AB. So I can see that I get a unique triangle. There is only one possibility for point C. So the triangle is unique. Okay. So if we are given any two angles, okay, and one side, then the triangle is unique. Okay. Now, say in this case, let us say I have been given angle A as 30 and angle C as 70, and I have been given the length of AB as 3 centimeters. Then by the angle sum property, I can find out angle B and I can repeat the same process for construction. So that's the reason if I am given any two angles and a third side, then the triangle is unique. Okay. So let's just see if you have any queries, then let me know in the chat. Okay, if you can hear me perfectly, let me know in the chat. Okay. Now, let us say I am given three angles. Okay, angle A as 30 degrees, say angle B as 60 degrees, and angle C as 90 degrees. Okay, now how many triangles I can draw which are satisfying these three conditions? Okay, so I think from the figure it's pretty clear that you can just scale the triangles so that the length of the sides will be different and the triangles will not be same. They will be different because the length of sides are different. Okay, so keeping the angles as constant, we can just zoom in or zoom out the triangles and we'll get the triangles of different side lengths. So there are infinite triangles, okay, which can be drawn if only three angles are given. Okay, so from the cases which we have discussed so far, we can conclude that if three sides are given, then the triangle is unique. If two sides and an angle between those two sides are given, then the triangle is unique. Okay. If two angles and a side is given, okay, any two angles and one side is given, then also the triangle is unique. Okay. So I can say that if three sides of a triangle is same as the three sides of another triangle, then those two triangles are congruent. Congruent triangles means the triangles in which all the sides and the angles are equal. Okay, so let us just say I have a triangle PQR and say I have a triangle ABC. Okay, so in this triangle PQ is 2 and this is 3 and this is 4. Okay, similarly here I have this as 4, this as 3 and this is 2. Okay, so since the sides, 3 sides of the triangles are equal, then I can say that triangle PQR is congruent to triangle BCA. Okay, so why I am writing triangle BCA? Because PQ is equals to BC, right? PQ is equals to BC, QR is equals to CA, and PR is equals to AB, right? So since PQ is equals to BC, QR is equals to CA, PR is equals to AB, I'm writing triangle PQR is congruent to triangle BCA. That is, P corresponds to point B, Q corresponds to point C, and R corresponds to the point A. Okay. Now, since these triangles are congruent, okay, this is the symbol for congruence, then I can say that the corresponding angles are equal. Okay, what do you mean by corresponding angles? So the angle opposite to the side which is of 2 lengths in this triangle PQR is angle R. Okay, and the angle opposite to the side of length 2 in triangle ABC is angle A. Okay, so these two angles are equal. Angle opposite to side of length 3 in triangle PQR is angle P, and the corresponding angle in triangle ABC is angle B. So these two angles are equal. The angle opposite to side length of 4 in triangle PQR is angle Q, and the corresponding angle in triangle ABC is angle C. So these pairs of angles are equal. Okay, so if in any two triangles, if you find that the 3 sides are same, then you can say that those 2 triangles are congruent and their corresponding angles are equal. Okay, so similarly, if in 2 triangles, okay, say triangle ABC and triangle PQR, if you have AB is equal to PQ, BC is equals to QR, and the included angles are equal. Okay, AB is equals to PQ, BC is equals to QR, and included angles are equal, then I can say that the triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. So if these two triangles are congruent, then the corresponding parts are also equal. So then I can say that AC should also be equal to PR, because AC is opposite to angle B and PR is opposite to angle Q, and these angle B and angle Q are equal. Okay. So similarly, angle A will be equal to angle P and angle C will be equal to angle R. So this is the SAS congruency condition. Similarly, let us say I have 2 triangles, say triangle PQR and triangle ABC, and if 2 angles are equal, okay, and the side and any side is equal, okay, so if I have angle Q as angle B, angle R is equals to angle C, and QR is equals to BC, then I can say that these 2 triangles are congruent. Okay, so then I can say that the corresponding parts are equal in these 2 triangles. That is, angle P is equals to angle A, and I can say that PQ is equals to AB, and also I can say that PR is equals to AC. So these 3 are the basic congruency criterion in the triangles. Okay, so there is one more congruency criterion, which is the RHS, or the right angle, hypotenuse and side. If you have 2 right angle triangles, okay, say ABC and PQR, so these 2 are right angle triangle. If hypotenuse is equal in both the triangles, that is AC is equals to PR, and any other side is equal, say BC is equals to QR, then I can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, so let's just move on. Let's just prove a property of a triangle. So we are given an isosceles triangle, okay, ABC, and I am given that angle B is equals to angle C. So you need to prove that the sides opposite to these angles, okay, that is AC is equals to side AB. Okay, so you need to prove this given angles B and C are equal. Okay, so just try this for a couple of minutes, then we'll discuss. So in triangle ABC, angle B is equals to angle C. You need to prove that AC is equals to AB. Okay, if you have done this, then let me know in the chat. Okay, so some of you have already done it. Let us just discuss. Okay, so there might be many methods. So we are discussing one of the methods. So let us just take a triangle ABC in which we are given angle B is equals to angle C. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm drawing angle bisector of angle A. Okay, so let this cut BC at D. So these two are equal by construction. Okay, so now if you notice the triangles ABD and triangles ADC, you can notice that angle BAD is equals to angle DAC, angle B is equals to angle C, and AD is the common side. So by AAS criterion, right? If two angles and one side are equal, then the triangles are congruent. So triangle ABD is congruent to triangle ACD. Okay. So then I can say that AB must be equal to AC. Okay. I hope this is clear. Okay. So let's just move on. So you need to prove Okay, you're given that there are two intersecting lines, say L and M. Okay, and there is a point P which is equidistant from these two lines. Okay, so let us say these lines are intersecting at point A. Okay, so you need to prove that AP, the line AP, bisects the angle between the lines. So P is a point which is equidistant from the lines L and M. So you need to prove that the line AP bisects the angle between the lines. Okay, you can just consider a point P which is equidistant. Okay, so try this for a couple of minutes. And if you get the proof, then let me know in the chat. Okay, so I think some of you have already done it. Let's discuss this. Okay, so since P is equidistant from L and M, what do you mean by equidistant? Okay, equidistant means the distance of P from line L and line M are equal. It means if I drop a perpendicular PD on line L and say PE on line M, these are equal. Okay, so PD is equals to PE. This is the meaning of equidistant. Now I am joining AP. Okay, fine. So now if you consider these triangles ADP and the triangle AEP, okay, you can see that these two triangles are congruent by the RHS. Okay, since the side is equal and the hypotenuse is common, right? AP is the hypotenuse which is common, and the both the triangles are right angled, so these two triangles are congruent. Okay, so if these two triangles are congruent, then I can say that angle DAP is equals to angle PAE. Okay, so this AP line is the angle bisector of the lines L and M. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so AB is a line segment. Okay, and P and Q are 2 points on either side of AB. Okay, such that these points are equidistant from A and B. Okay, each of the points P and Q is equidistant from points A and B. Okay, so you need to prove that PQ is perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, you need to prove that PQ is perpendicular bisector of AB. So just try this for a couple of minutes. Okay, if you have done, then let me know in the chat. Okay, so let's discuss. See, I am given a segment, line segment AB, and P and Q are points which are on either side of AB. Okay, so let's just take a point P here and Q here. Okay, on either side of AB, such that these points are equidistant from A and B. It means the length PA is equals to the length PB, right? And the length QA is equals to the length QB. Fine. Okay. So if you notice this triangles APB and the triangle AQB, you can find that AP is equals to PB. Okay. Instead of this, let us just connect this PQ. Okay. Intersecting AB at C. Fine. Now we need to use the congruency criterion. So let us consider the triangles PAQ and triangle PBQ. Okay. So I'm taking these two triangles PAQ and triangle PBQ. Okay. So in these two triangles, I can say that PA is equals to PB and AQ is equals to BQ. Right? And PQ is the common side. Okay. So these two triangles are congruent. Okay. So these are congruent by SSS congruency. Fine. So if these two triangles are congruent, then I can say that angle APQ will be equal to angle BPQ because they are the corresponding angles. Right? And I can say that angle AQB is also equal to angle BQP. Yes, is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. So now consider the triangles PAC and triangle PBC. Okay. So if you notice the triangles PAC and triangles PBC, okay. So you can notice that one side is equal, the side piece is common, and the included angles are equal. Okay. So then these two triangles are also congruent. Fine. So if these two triangles are congruent, what can we say? That AC is equals to CB, and we can say that angle ACP is equals to angle BCP because they are the corresponding sides and the corresponding angles. Okay, we can say that AC is equals to CB, and we can say these two angles are equal. Now, if these two angles are equal, then each should be equal to 90 degree. Okay, because ACB is a straight line. So we have proved that PQ is perpendicular to AB, and also PQ bisects AB. So we can say that PQ is a perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, so let's just move on. So let us discuss some important things in a triangle which you have already studied in your earlier classes. So let us discuss what's the median in a triangle. Okay, consider a triangle ABC. Okay, so median, it is a line segment which joins vertex to the midpoint of opposite side. Fine. So if I take the vertex A and the midpoint of opposite side BC as D, then AD is said to be median of this triangle. Similarly, if I take midpoint of AC as F, then DF is the median. And if I take the midpoint of AB as G, then CG is the median. Okay, let's make it E. Okay, so these three AD, BF and CE are said to be medians of this triangle. Okay, so now you can notice that I have drawn the diagram in such a way that all these three lines AD, BF and CE pass through the same point. Okay, these three medians are concurrent. Okay, we have not proved that these are concurrent, but we have drawn the diagram in such a way that we can see that the medians are concurrent. Okay, so this point of concurrence is called the centroid G. Okay, so we'll prove why the medians are concurrent later. Okay, we'll prove that the medians are concurrent, but we'll do that later. So this point of concurrence is called the centroid G, and the centroid divides each median in the ratio 2:1. That is AG is to GD is 2:1, DG is to GF is 2:1, and CG is to GE is 2:1. Okay, so this is about median. Okay, so let us discuss about angle bisector. Okay, in particular internal angle bisector. So let us just take a triangle ABC. Okay, and now if I draw bisector of angle B, if I draw bisector of angle C, okay, and if I draw bisector of angle A, okay. So all these bisectors will be concurrent. We'll prove it later why these are concurrent. And the point of concurrence is called incenter, and it is denoted by I. Okay. So we have done a problem in which we have noticed that if a point is equidistant from two lines, then AP bisected the angle between the lines L and M. Okay. It means I can also say that any point on this line, okay, it means any point on the bisector of this line will be equidistant from both the lines. Okay, so all these points will be equidistant from L and M. So since I lies on the bisector of angle B, it is equidistant from AB and AC, right? AB and AC. Okay, similarly it is equidistant from AC and BC. Okay, so I is equidistant from all the three sides of a triangle. Okay, so I is equidistant from all the three sides. That is the perpendicular distance from I to BC, I to AC and I to AB. All these are equal, and with I as center, if I draw a circle touching these three sides, okay, this circle is called the incircle. Okay, and the radius is called the in radius. Okay, this radius is called the in radius. That is ID. Okay, so I think you have understood why this I is equidistant from all the three sides. Okay, because it lies on the angle bisector. So since it lies on the angle bisector, it is equidistant from the three sides. So I can draw a circle which touches all the three sides and which has I as the center. Okay, this is about the internal angle bisectors. Okay, so let us also look what is an altitude in a triangle. Okay, I'm taking a triangle ABC. Okay, so if I draw a line segment passing through vertex A and perpendicular to BC, then this is called an altitude. Okay, AD, BE and CF, these are all altitudes. Okay, and these altitudes are also concurrent. We'll prove it later why these are concurrent. And the point of concurrence is called orthocenter H. Yes. Let us just discuss what is circumcenter. Okay. So in a triangle ABC, okay, if I draw the perpendicular bisector of BC, okay, perpendicular bisector means it passes through the midpoint and it is perpendicular to BC. Okay. Similarly, the perpendicular bisector of AC and the perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, these three perpendicular bisectors will be concurrent and the point of concurrence will be known as circumcenter. Okay. So since this, let us name this point as D. Okay, so BD is equals to DC and this is perpendicular. I can say that SB is equals to SC. Okay, because triangle SBD and triangle SDC are congruent, sorry. Okay, let's just make this clear. So this is the perpendicular bisector, this is the point D, BD is equals to DC and this is perpendicular, so this is a 90 degree. So these two triangles are congruent, so I can say that BS is equals to CS. Similarly, I can say SA is equals to SC, so I can say that SA is equals to SB is equals to SC. That is, the circumcenter is equidistant from all the vertices of a triangle. Okay. So with S as center and SA or SB as or SC as radius, if I draw a circle, then this circle will pass through all the vertices A, B and C, and this circle is called the circumcircle of triangle ABC.